Do you have any plans for tonight?
Yeah, we're going to go out for dinner at like a rachel. And then I got reservations. And it's most importantly somewhere that we can sort of walk home from.
Oh, nice.
Or we can like walk to our stop and we don't have to get like consumed by the crowd.
Lovely.
Yeah, that was like my number one thing. What about you?
No, I'm just going back to my bed.
Awesome. Ring in the new year by sleeping in.
Yeah. Perhaps, call out to my parents, wishing them Happy New Year too, but that's it.
Set a midnight alarm that's like, oh, and Happy New Year, and then back to sleep.
Pretty much, yes.
And welcome to Tales of Our Times. This is a show where we discuss the stories that move us, what makes them so meaningful, and why others could or should find meaning in them as well. I'm your host, Amanda Stevens, and this is our second special format episode where last time we talked about the shows that moved us, the shows, the books, the stories that moved us the most in 2024. This time, I'm catching up with a couple other of my colleagues here at Radio Taiwan International to discuss the stories that we are most looking forward to in 2025. Just like the last one, we're not going to really do summaries, but I hope you enjoy and maybe put a couple of things on your watch list. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, Phil.
Hello.
Welcome back. It's been a long time since you've been on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming back. Now, Phil, to introduce yourself, like what's a little bit about that, and what are some of the shows you do here at RTI?
So, I would be probably labeled as the music guy, since I used to do a show about island tunes, which is related to music. You play some of the Taiwanese famous artists that will never make it to studio with me. And then those that I could get into the studio and have an actual interview with them, that show would be dedicated to Taiwan Grooves, which is another music show looking at their origins, what they do, their music, their works, their future plans, etc. And then I'm in charge of status update, talking to our dearest listeners and hearing them out.
Probably a lot of people out there listening to this episode are really familiar with your voice because of Status Update.
I hope so.
And hopefully for those other cool music shows. I do actually introduce you as the music guy.
Right, which makes me nervous coming on your show, because your show is more about stories. So if somebody wants to talk music with me, no problem, right? Just close your eyes, you just listen to something, that's it.
I'm waiting for the day, I hope, when somebody comes to me and they were like, I have a story, but it's in a song. And people do use songs and albums to literally tell stories.
That's true.
We've talked about this on another episode. But anyway, today...
Give us some time, we'll be there.
Yeah, it'll happen in the future. The ultimate combo. So what is something that you are looking forward to in 2025? Speaking of stories.
I do look forward for a TV show from HBO series, which is called The Rehearsal.
And so what is this TV series?
When you ask me this is
the hardest part.
The hardest part, because it's a show that only has 7, I think, episodes in total. First season, right?
Oh.
So this is something unlike, if you're ever going to watch that, this is something unlike you have never seen like that. So it's not a documentary. It's something where the show, I would say, kind of like blurs the line between a fiction and reality.
Oh, yeah.
So watching it, you're not really sure which one is scripted and what is real.
Oh, that's very fun.
And to provide like a example, it's called The Rehearsal, right? So the whole point of at least the first episode, which I'm not going to spoil too much, but that one we can say because it's in the trailer and everything.
The first episode is kind of if it's in the trailer, it's fair game.
So it's about that he finds a person who has difficulty overcoming something.
Wait, is this the like filmer or like the host?
So the host, the whole director and everybody.
Host. Yeah,
right.
Maybe he's a character if it's scripted.
He is a host, he's a character, he's all in one.
Okay.
He's a one-man team. Nathan Fielder is the brilliant mind behind this, responsible for all of this confusion and chaos and brilliancy. And he just goes on Craigslist looking for people trying to overcome something.
Oh.
And with that something with the first season is that somebody has been a part of a team, a part of a group, and he's been lying about the degree, the education degree he got, and he wants to confess.
Oh.
But he never found the right words, never found the right chance, never found the right method how to go through it, right? So Nathan, this guy, the host, reaches out to him, says, hey, I can help you. And what they do, they go extra, you know how you go extra mile for a joke or for something? He goes extra, I don't know, 1,000 miles, kilometers.
Yeah.
He prepares the whole scenario. He rebuilds literally
Like the
detail by
office or
detail
whatever.
the whole bar where it's going to happen. He hires an actress who studies the other persons he wants to confess to, her behavior and her method and everything. And then what they do is they ran, I don't know, over 200 scenarios of all possible rejections, acceptance, everything. Hence
and like
rehearsal.
middle in betweens. Oh, wow. Wait, that sounds
Just
so interesting.
insane.
What?
It's honestly, this would be something I would recommend to watch to anybody because it's something I don't think you have seen anything like this on TV.
I have never heard of something. I think this is like the dream scenario for a lot of people. I'm thinking of like myself, like every time that I have something I'm really anxious for, that's exactly what I want. Where I'm like, I wish I could just go through everything and like a no stakes,
Just try
like
it out.
when we're over it, or even sometimes like after I've had a really bad argument and I'm like, I just want to practice what I should have said. Like so that next time this comes up, I'm ready. Like, oh my God.
And this is where Nathan shows up, comes in, and gives you the perfect opportunity to all try it with the controlled environment.
Wow.
So you have kind of like a little control of the outcome.
Yes.
And you're trying to minimize all the possible factors and just deliver it and make sure that it goes well.
You're prepared. Oh, that's so interesting. Wow. Okay, so the first season is already out, and then this sounds like it's very episodic. So like you don't necessarily need to see one show in order to watch the next one, right? Because it's different problems each time.
See, that's the thing. The first series kind of like lets you in on what's it going to be about. And it seems like it's going to be very detached and it's going to be different guy, different episode.
Yeah.
But it's not. The first one is kind of it lets you in on like
what the shtick is.
What the shtick is, and then the remaining ones I kind of all linked together. The first one seems a little bit detached from it, but since you watched the first one, it needs to be there.
Okay.
Yeah,
so you should watch the first season if you want to follow up the second season.
Of course.
Okay. When does that come out this year?
I believe, if my information is right, somewhere around March.
So we're all hoping for March, at least.
We're all hoping for March.
Okay. Wow. That sounds so cool. I'm so glad you told me about that. Thanks for coming on. So what an interesting show to start it off with.
Definitely. Highly recommended.
Yeah.
Really.
So welcome, Iris Hsu.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming back. You actually did this last year, I think.
I did?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
I know. I only ever managed to get you on for these very short ones, which is fine. It's always a pleasure. Oh, jinx. So, for anyone out there, is there something you'd like to say to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Iris Hsu. I am the program coordinator for the English service here at Radio Taiwan International. And
we wouldn't function without you.
That's too kind. And I also have my own program, which is called The Divide, where I talk about international affairs, current affairs, what's happening in today's world, basically.
It's I find it a really interesting show because it's interesting to hear both sides of like a stark division. And you can usually, I'm an argumentative person. I often find myself on one side pretty firmly, but I admire you for being able to have this like forum that's like, let's present both of them and kind of open up that discussion. Yeah.
Thank you. But I do feel like, I am sort of the same kind of person as you are, where my show is slowly turning into like firmly standing on one side and then just kind of giving the other side the right of a reply.
Yeah. It's turning into from the divide to change my mind. Like, you won't.
Yep.
Well, anyway, today we're here to talk about something that you are looking forward to in 2025.
Oh my God. I am so looking forward to a comeback TV show.
Mm-hmm.
There's this Netflix Korean drama called Hospital Playlist, I believe.
Ooh, okay. Korean dramas, usually well written. I have to give them that. They do know how to keep watchers, too, in the radio. They know how to keep watchers hooked. They're really good at that.
Yeah, and it's not your typical like love romance type of show, but it's about a group of doctors, their lives, day-to-day life in the hospital.
So, but not as much of a drama like a Grey's Anatomy, would you say?
No, it could be
kind of.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's. I think it's completely different from Grey's Anatomy or House. Those.
What do you think makes it so different in your experience, or in your own words?
I like it because it's very. It makes me feel good. You know, they do cover terrible things in the hospital. People often die under these doctors' watch, but they always find a way to come back to work the next day, or always have the best intention to help their patients out. And to me, that's very, it makes me feel so much better about the world that we're living in today. And I like how all these characters are navigating with difficult labor conditions and sometimes just a very difficult patient being an a-hole.
Yeah. I my sister-in-law, so to speak, is a nurse, and like I do hear that from her. Like that sometimes that is actually the hardest part, is like when you go to work and you really want to try to help somebody, but like the patient that you're trying to help is like not helping you help them.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like I really just want you to be healthy so you can go live your life. If you could help me achieve that, I would love that.
Yeah, and it's sort of a comedy too, so it's fun to watch, lighthearted, and they often don't. You can't watch single episode on its own.
Very bingeable in that case.
Yeah.
All right. So then, when is this? You said the second season.
The third season.
Third
actually.
season.
But there's no release date. We don't know if they're filming it. We don't know if this is going to be released. I'm just hoping that it could come back.
When was the last season released? If you know.
I actually don't know. It's probably 2021, 2022.
So they have lots of time to get it done then. Yeah. 2024 is feeling not again.
We're gonna be
no.
2025.
2025 is hours away as we record this, and I am already struggling. Oh, well, thanks for coming back. I like checking in with you on these shows. I feel like you always have like very good feel-good shows, or like shows that inspire you to like keep going back to work even when it gets hard, or like keep up with your routine, or like not to give up in the hard times.
Yeah. We all try, right?
We all need it, for sure. Tristan, thanks for coming on.
Hello, my name is Tristan. I am a reporter and host at RTI. You may recognize my voice from Formosa Fauna, which is the show I host, and it's where I talk a lot about animals.
Your show always gives me like a warm feeling inside also, because I love animals, and so every time I see the little like images for your show, it gives me like a pep in my step.
Good, great. Yeah, we share a lot of fun facts over there. That's one of my favorite things.
So switching gears, what are you looking forward to in 2025?
This one's pretty fun. In 2025, I'm looking forward to a little bit of nostalgia because Totally Spies, an animated spy-fi series, is coming back for, I think, a season 6 or 7? Season 7 to Cartoon Network.
What?
Do you know Totally Spies?
I do know Totally Spies. I grew up on that show when I was a kid.
Same.
Oh my
God.
God.
They're coming back. They've been hard at work and they're coming back for season 7. And we have yet to know what that really entails because it's picking up after a long hiatus.
Yeah. I think the last one was definitely like 10 years ago, wasn't it? Like, or more.
At least.
Yeah.
10, 15, years ago.
Uh-huh. So
Yes.
for people who haven't seen the show, I guess, what is it about? What's the premise of the show?
It centers around three teenage girls from Beverly Hills named Sam, Clover, and Alex. And they live a double life as secret agents working for WHOOP, they call it, which is the World Organization of Human Protection. So it's like in between Powerpuff Girls and Charlie's Angels, you know, because it's always you get the three girls who are spies out to save the world secretly. So yeah, it's one of my favorite shows. It's one of those feel-good shows because you know nothing too serious is going to happen. You know they're going to resolve their issues. And it kind of just, it makes you see things in a lighthearted way. And I like that.
Yeah, I have really fun memories of like, for me, when I was watching this show, I'm so excited to hear it's coming back. It was like one of the few shows that I would enjoy watching because, like, frankly, I was like, oh, it's cool. They're like girl spies. It's not we have one girl on the team group of people going out to do stuff. It's like, no, we're all doing it. And it's all kind of goofy. It feels serious. They get to do cool spy stuff. They get to use all the cool gadgets and like go around and save the world.
Right. And then they also have to deal with regular teenage girl things like dating on the side or whatever, but the focus is the girls, and they're never made out to be helpless princesses or anything like that. But at the same time, it wasn't too politically correct in the sense that they are trying to force political correctness down our throats. At the time, it was more like they didn't shy away from the shopping aspect of girls' lives or the dating aspect, right? So it kind of almost made fun of that in a way. Yeah. That was just lighthearted. Yeah.
When you say like the political correctness, what I'm reminded of is like at that time, it was like the early 2000s, there was this like obsession with the idea of like a strong female character. And like that idea that it was like, these are strong female characters. They're not like other girls and they don't like girly things because they're strong and they're like boys. And like, honestly, it just kind of sucked and it got like so boring and repetitive. So like that was fun that in this show, they were like, we're just going to let our characters be who they are. And like, they like shopping and they do care about dating because most teenage girls also care about dating and many
and
like
there's nothing
shopping.
Wrong with that.
Yeah, it's fine. And that's great. And they all have like a different interest as well. Like, you know, typical show stuff.
Exactly. It's also made by a French company. So the original is in French, and it's also fun to see like the French perspective of a California girl.
You know, that's a good point.
So I think that's where Clover comes from. And the voice actress for all of the girls, honestly, the voice actresses are just so good. And especially Clover's really nailed that Valley girl accent.
Oh, they definitely did what I just did. Like, gross. The thing,
exactly.
I'm West Coast,
like,
can you tell?
I really want to go shopping. Yeah.
So, okay. And when did you say that that's coming out?
I don't see an exact date yet, but they say 2025.
Okay. So this is a nebulous 2025. Sometime we're expecting this show to make a long-awaited resurgence.
Yes. And it could be soon because I see potential dates January 4th. We could be watching this new season in just a few days.
I would definitely like watch this over a lunch break or something. That's like 100% how I would love to spend my time.
Yes.
So, well, Tristan, thanks for coming on my show. Thanks for sharing that with us. That's so exciting to look forward to.
Thank you for having me back.
Yeah. So that's all that we have time for today. Thank you to all of you out there for listening. This has been Tales of Our Time on Radio Taiwan International. A special thanks to my lovely coworkers, Fil Leskovsky, Iris Hsu, and Tristan Hildebrand. You can hear their shows and others here on Radio Taiwan International. But for now, I hope you enjoyed listening to some things that we're looking forward to in the new year. And once again, from all of us here to you, happy 2025, and we'll see you next time.